my stuff that I had a channel message this morning. I told Monica, so I wrote it down.
All right, it's attempting to go live, guys. Hold on. Okay. I think we're live, guys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. But I can hear you on Zoom. Let me turn.
Yeah, maybe. No, but no, because if you block your Zoom, that's not going to work.
No, I'm going to go on YouTube. Hold on.
No, but I think that the link is right. You got to stay on Zoom.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to go off Zoom. It's going to open YouTube up in a different window.
What you're gonna have, this is the no, what you have to do, Manny, is if you're looking at it on YouTube, which well, unless you want to see if anybody, hops on, what you want to do is mute your YouTube and stay with me on Zoom because that's gonna be our communication channel.
Right, no problemo. So let me see videos.
But yeah, we're live. I'm muted there and I am good to go on. So I'm gonna follow everything. Yeah, I guess we have to follow it here in case anybody hops on board. Okay. We'll see. We'll go with the flow here, guys. First time going live, so mistakes will be made and it's okay.
That's how you learn,
Yeah.
I don't think you're up.
I want to make sure I'm recording.
I don't think because I see. Oh, wait, let me go to your actual thing. Hold on, let me mute. There we go.
Are we live? It's telling me that we're live.
Hold on, let me close that. Live. Let me see. Yes, we're live.
Okay, so just make sure you mute your YouTube and stay with me on Zoom.
Got it.
I'm gonna do this like this and follow on Zoom because we're on real time. There's a delay on YouTube, so I'm gonna follow with my screen half opened to the YouTube in case anybody decides to participate and hop on. Okay, guys, so let's get started. Thanks again, Jillian and Manny. Thank you and welcome everyone to the Bear Experiment podcast. I'm your host, Monica Clavijo, and today is our very first live broadcast stream with previous guests that I've had on the podcast. Jillian, who is a soul healer medium, she's also a channeler, and she is here to speak with us about aliens and light beings and how she can communicate with them telepathically. So this is very intriguing and very interesting, and it's a phenomenon that's happening and occurring more and more in the world today as we're hearing it with the news and sightings all over. I know that there was just a sighting really close to me recently in Daytona Beach. It was underneath the water, and there was another one, real close in Orlando the other day. So whether it's truth or not, people are talking more and more about this. And then that's where Manny comes in. So Manny is a television producer and he's also a writer, and he's been around a lot of all these Hollywood screenwriters that have been talking about this for many, many years with their creative work. And it forces us to question, like, have they been talking to us and telling us exactly what's happening in Hollywood for so many years, and we are so blinded that we haven't, we're not open enough or ready to receive this kind of information? Because every Hollywood movie is telling us exactly what we're citing right now, right, all over the world. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining me on my crazy talk. I appreciate you. So let's start with you, Jillian. Talking about what we were just explaining, right? So with all the recent UFO sightings around the world, as an intuitive person that you are, what's happening, Jillian? Why are they trying to make communication with us right now?
Because they lied to us for a billion years, and the contract, it's like a treaty they had with the government a long time ago is up. A disclosure, they're trying to make disclosure happen.
So what are you saying, that there was governmental contracts with these beings where we weren't allowed to talk about it, or they weren't allowed to show themselves?
Valor. So it was part of my download. It was a male energy.
Okay,
And
so wait, before you continue, just to bring Manny in on that. So Manny, this morning she did wake up and she said that she received a message from a higher being this morning, and that's what she's sharing with us right now. So what did they say, Jillian?
so I had to write it down because I was half asleep this morning. But it says, "Greetings to all. I am one love. I am unconditional love. And I have something to do with Jophiel personally. I've been told I'm the soul of Jophiel, but that was part of my download. It says, be calm. We are here." And then an energetic transmission is when I do the angelic healing. There's like cosmic light codes when I do the healing. It's because you have to be open to receive it. And then it says, "We have tried to prepare you for this exact moment in time and space." And here
How
we're here.
exactly do you communicate with them? Like, do you hear them, see
Telepathically.
them, you feel them?
Telepathically, but I hear like a ringing in my ears. It's usually late at night.
Oh, when was the first time that happened to you? When did you realize you could do it?
In 2016.
Hmm.
So she
Um,
had two near-death experiences, Manny.
Ah,
And after her second near-death experience, that's where it really triggered all of these natural powers that the more that I speak to all of these intuitive healers, I understand that we all are capable of achieving this level of enlightenment. You know, it's just that through our programming and
we are.
our ego, we shut ourselves off to this powerful information that we're all capable of receiving. But it was after her near-death experience that she was able to finally start communicating
like,
with these.
how would I know if it's an angel communicating with me, for example, if it happens to me, or just me thinking my own
So
thought?
there's so there's um so there's lower energies and entities that communicated with me at the very beginning, and I sent pictures to Monica, and I physically captured the pictures and videos that I sent her. Telepathically, I was told there's a being in the first picture, and they said, "You're open to see us now." And when I showed that picture, it's definitely some kind of alien entity, higher vibrational. But I was terrified at the time because I'm like, why me?
Oh, sure.
And and like,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
what the f, you know? Like, are you serious? I started seeing the light ships in 2016 too. A friend of mine through social media, Majin Choi, he's we're very connected energetically, but in the soul family, he does and energetic healing through frequency. It's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. I'm sorry, Manny. No, go ahead.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
like, when you communicate, how do you differentiate between what could be an angel and what could be an alien, or are they the same thing?
They're everything's the same thing, but there's different entities. So you have to give your higher person her permission herself permission to be open to receive the knowledge and to be have them around you. And people, you can't just go around touching people. It doesn't work that way, you know. Sometimes I feel
That
like a
sounds
Care
like
Bear.
fun.
Sometimes I feel like a Care Bear, you know, because I try to just push my positive unconditional love out to the world.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. So, with all of these recent UFO sightings, I know from reading and what's available that they are sharing with us, it was in the early 40s where it was the first UFO sighting by a pilot, and that was documented. But have they been here
Yes.
for centuries and centuries?
Yes.
And we haven't been talking about it.
Well, there's lower entities and that I call the baddies, and they've been feeding off of us when we're sleeping. They feed off of our loosh. The more you vibrate, the more higher your vibrations and the higher your frequencies are, then you're raising everything. You know what I mean? And so then the lower vibrations, they can't. I always put myself in a bubble of light whenever I do any public stuff, any energetic work. Um, I say reflect. I call on Archangel Michael for protection, strength, and courage, and they're not allowed to be in my energy field. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It makes perfect sense. And how do you get to that level of enlightenment in order to be able to make that communication with another spiritual realm or entity without
Well,
being possessed, right?
I was very sick, so this all just happened to me. And like I said, I don't know. I believe that I had one of my awakenings. I had two awakenings. You never stop having these wakes. When you first have your awakening, they just keep going, and then you keep receiving these downloads. But the very first one was definitely in 2016. But I don't know if it was before the hospital or after.
Is there a way to do it without having to have an NDE?
Great question.
It's I definitely feel like this is something that's triggered by trauma, because I've had trauma my whole life. But this is not something I went searching for. This is something people do search for. This just happened to me, and people sent me like random gifts in the mail when I came out of the hospital, which is pretty cool. Someone made this for me.
Oh, I saw that picture. Okay, so what is that? It's like a pyramid.
It's a pyramid
what is
with pennies.
Okay, and what is the significance of that?
The copper.
Okay.
Copper and frequency. I do know about the Verde cage and stuff. But I've never had one. I haven't. Those are not cheap. But it's all about harnessing your energy.
Okay. So are the aliens that are finally allowing themselves to be seen right now? We've always thought about alien spacecrafts, where they're traveling in outer space and then they're coming and they're flying over us, and that's why we have all these pilot sightings. But now there's been a lot of articulation about aliens actually being underwater, UFOs, underwater flying objects, right? Which makes sense to me. The ocean to me has always been very scary, right? Because like you don't know what's down there. You're in the water, things are touching you, it could be a shark. But there's again going back to you, Manny, and your background. There's so many Hollywood movies and documentaries where what was that famous movie, The Abyss?
The Abyss.
Yeah.
With Ed Harris.
Yeah.
I love that movie, and it's about, the UFOs being underwater, and they have an entire city living underneath the ocean. And it makes sense. It really, really does, right? Like
Right.
the ocean is so vast and it's so deep. Like we don't even understand how deep the ocean really is. So why are they making themselves be seen at this point? Like what is the communication that they are trying to tell us? What's happening?
They're trying to make a disclosure happen, so the orbs can morph. I've been posting all sorts of different orbs and on TikTok,
She does. She
I
posts all these pictures, Manny. I'll post this podcast separately that I'm recording, and at that point, I can add the pictures in there. But
okay,
it's pretty cool because you can
it's
see.
magical.
Like I can't see that. Like I look up in the sky and I see stars or clouds or rain coming. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not that advanced,
Oh no,
and she's
I'm
taking these
guided.
pictures. Yeah, she's taking these pictures that it's like, how are you seeing that? And I'm not. We're looking at the same sky.
And you say there's different levels of them too. Do they ever argue with each other?
Not to my understanding.
I don't know. I was curious, like maybe.
To me, it's all pure magic. I mean, I didn't ask for any of this to happen, but I'm grateful at the same time. If that makes any sense.
Sure.
It's just so cool.
Yeah.
And is it always one-on-one, or are there ever more than one at the same time?
No, I can call them.
Have
I
you
can call
talked?
the shits down.
You can talk to like a group of entities at the same time where they're communicating to you.
So we all have this knowledge. Just a lot of people forgot. Everybody's on their journey at a different time, but there's a mass awakening happening around the world right now.
I definitely agree with that taking place.
And somehow I'm the key, and I'm just trying to make sense of it, just like you're trying to make sense of it. But I have notes, like I have notes from when I came out of the hospital to remember. Like, don't ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a place I could go if, like, let's say I wanted to try and communicate with aliens or the angels? Is there somewhere I could go to learn some sort of ceremony, tips or tricks, or
I teach people. I have classes and I have clients from all over the world. That's how my business got started. It's nonprofit, just donations only. But I try to just teach awareness to everybody, and I call it Spiritual 101. So you want to have like light, like Palo Santo or smudge. So you want to cleanse your energy field. And goes back to that bubble that I talked to you about, whether it be clear, pink, purple, gold. I put myself in a gold bubble. The light beams that I see, and then I have pictures of in video. They're iridescent and clear, and they kind of shimmer. So if you think of like oil and how it spreads with those rainbow colors, but it's iridescent. Some have wings and some don't, and I've seen it by my personal dimensions. There's different dimensions. Everybody talks about, the M word, the matrix. It's very real. Part of my download was being unplugged by some kind of computer system and seeing all these codes and seeing the emerald tablets and froth. I didn't know what any of this was.
Well, I mean, even physics does not disagree with you. There are certain branches of physics that say, yes, there are the possibility of multiple dimensions.
Quantum physics, right? Where we're living we're living in the same time, but in different realms.
Well, right now we're merging timelines. So we're merging from 3D to 5D and higher.
Into the Aquarius, right?
Well, that part I don't understand. I'm not familiar with all the numerology stuff. I sucked at math when I was younger.
Didn't we all? Except Manny. Manny was great at math.
But math has to do with the universe, Tesla, 369.
Yeah.
I do agree with that part.
Yeah, the significance of Nicholas Tesla, Manny, I don't know if you're familiar with it, where he says that if you understood the powers of the numbers 3, 6, and 9, it would define and change your universe and your reality, to the point that he lived and breathed these 3 numbers. For example, like whenever he walked into a building, he would walk around the entire building 3 times before he would enter the actual building, because it just did something to your quantum reality at the time.
Right.
And it's what, Einstein talks about, and all these, physics are discussing now and sharing with us that there is some association with different spiritual realms. And once we learn how to kind of like take down that veil, we're able to more effectively communicate, right? Which has been happening for centuries, right? But now we're finally becoming more comfortable with it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when all this happened to me, I was terrified. I lost my shit. I thought I lost my marbles. I did. And everything happened to me so fast. And I've always been able to see paranormal stuff. I've always dreamt in color. I've always remembered my dreams. I thought this was normal. It's not.
No,
no, it isn't.
It's not. No.
Having a knowing of different things, I've had that my whole life. They call it the knowing. Like I tell you about the OA. I was drawn to the OA when I came out of the hospital and stuff. The OA and Unsolved Mysteries, because I didn't understand. I was looking for answers. I was searching,
I'm sorry, what is OA?
The OA was a series on Netflix, and Britt Marlin, I believe her name was, she had health issues like I had, like NDE, near-death experience. Mm-hmm. And she had these amazing gifts like I have.
A lot of things, that, now that I'm studying this a little bit more and talking to a lot more people that have had near-death experiences or even struggled with substance abuse and have really hit rock bottom, that transformation of hitting rock bottom or dying and coming back, right? Because it's not your time. It's almost like you have to kind of go through that in order to be able to better understand and respect the level of um, information that they're going to bring to us right now into our knowledge, right? So that we're not making fun of it or misusing this information. And I think that that's a lot of, I'm sure that there's people that haven't had trauma and are able to communicate, right? Like there has to be people that are born with the gift where they're a little more advanced. But,
Yeah, we all have it, but like I said,
uh,
everybody has it in different times in their life. But all this it is happening now. People are waking up like I did in 2016. Whoever's are seeing these orbs around the world, it's something to do with the triangles. Everybody's seeing triangles
well, yeah, that's what you
with
just
the
showed
orb,
me, right? Yeah.
and that's the Trinity, and that's the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. And so I'm not a Bible, like I'm Christian. I was baptized, but not. I am not one to like know the Bible, okay, and know verses and stuff. But I know, but what's happening right now, they talk about that in the Bible, okay.
What do you
And,
think is
and
the lesson that they're trying to tell us right now? What do they want humanity to know?
uh, we, well, we're all connected as one. We one love. We all bleed the same color. You need to stop having all this
Judgment.
that, but like separation. We all need to come together as a whole. Everyone needs to be aware of the and have this awareness around them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this was part of my channel message this morning, and it was actually tied from heart chakra to heart loop counterclockwise, and it looks like an infinity sign, and then balanced in the middle, and it says, then everyone sends energy to each other. Again, mind you, I was half asleep when I did this message.
That's pretty good for being half asleep.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, it's the Infinity 8, right? The
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's interesting. It's interesting. And it doesn't scare you when they're communicating to you. It doesn't
I'm
scare
used
you
to it.
anymore. You're so used
No,
to it at this point.
I'm so used to it now. I'm so open. I see colors. I see colors. I can see auras. I see energy. One of my spiritual guides has been Edgar Casey. So I have been like trying to learn uh, and because he's all over the place in the spiritual community, you know. When I first got my attunements for to be in Reiki, my spiritual advisor, her name was Tina Keenan, and she helped me so much to just understand something. you know?
Something.
And
You
to,
you
like
can't even define what you're understanding. It's so out there.
try to put the puzzle pieces together. Like she helped me understand it because I didn't understand it at first. But she and meditation is the key. And I'm not one to shut my mind down, so I wall gaze. I can't meditate, so I wall gaze.
What does that mean? Wall gazing.
I just stare at the wall, and it turns into like old fashioned TV, and then I start seeing like moving pictures, like an old fashioned
Like
movie.
poltergeist.
Yep,
Well,
yep.
not
Okay.
as scary, I hope.
No,
Right. Well, but
no.
that's kind of like the image that I just got when she said that, right? Like looking at the television and the static.
Well, my awakening when everything happened at the beginning, it was like poltergeist because I explained to you that I live by two hospitals in a 15-20 minute proximity, and the house was built on a vortex, and it was crazy,
Yeah.
crazy cool at this point in time because I'm a survivor. I mean, God has other plans for me.
Oh, 100%. I mean, God,
Yeah.
twice, but also like so many people like near death experiences like that, the one that she has where you actually flatline and you get that, medical confirmation that you flatline. But so many of us have been in near death experiences. We just we just never completely cross over, right? Like you're driving and you're almost in a car crash, but through divine intervention, the car misses you. That was a higher calling saying like, not yet, buddy, not yet. It's not your time to come over here yet. Not even to say hello and go back, right? Um, and so many of us don't understand how many times we've been so close to death, right? And it's just not our time to cross over. So going back, because you were talking about the vortex. I was looking at what are the areas where there have been the most alien sightings in the United States, and it's the major. It's interesting because when you look at the map, the majority are all on the West Coast, right? Uh,
Oh,
Casino, California, Nevada, Nebraska, and the big one, right? Like Sedona, Arizona,
yeah.
where it's supposed to be one of the main portals that are available in the US on the West Coast with this vortex of energy that allows that direct communication to other spiritual realms. And that's why, like, they've turned it into a business, of course, right? Now everybody goes over there and they pay for all these, seminars, where they're paying $3,000 to go meditate and drink the water because, an
Right.
alien blessed it. And it's like everything is capitalism at this
But
point.
where are the aliens? That's what people don't understand is we're the glitch in the matrix, and people need to get that. We're the glitches. People forgot about that part. Like
How do you mean? How do you mean we're the glitch?
I, I, we're just all energetically connected. Like we're all missing pieces to this big puzzle that, as we come together, it becomes a whole.
Yeah, I was talking to a previous guest, Manny, the spiritual hobo, super interesting character. Jillian has also spoken to him. Gypsy on the road, just incredible life, right? Incredible life story. And that was one of the things that he was talking about. He was explaining, he's like, if you really think that you're insignificant, go to sleep with a mosquito next to you. And we'll talk and we'll talk in the morning, right? Like a mosquito will tear you up. And what is the size of the mosquito in relevance to your size, right? So it's like we all have significance here on this planet while we're here, and we all have a purpose. Um, and so
We
many
do.
of us, and so many of us don't fulfill those purposes, right? Because we feel so insignificant. So it's
I've it's faith over fear.
yeah,
So death is all about transformation. So I believe that you have to get over your fears to transform and on to get onto the next level on your spiritual path.
yeah.
Because I was terrified at first and I had to get over all that.
Right, right. Sure, sure. Manny, so what is your perspective coming from Hollywood and TV and the creative productions that you've, been a
Mhm.
part of and what's taking place in reality today that we're seeing it more. And part of the reason why we're seeing it more and more is because of social media, right? The easy
Right.
access that we have out in order to be able to communicate with each other that
Sure.
wasn't available before.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, but what is your perspective on that, Manny? With have we been showing it on television?
It could be that, we've been uh influenced by extraterrestrials or by angels or something, and without realizing it, that's why often the depiction of an alien. Well, is it the chicken or the egg, right? Did we see the cave drawings of the spacemen in the Est in South America first, and then we did the aliens, or did we already have that knowledge inside of us because it was planted there, or
Yeah,
are we them from a long time? It's hard to say, but and Hollywood depicts it several different ways. You have the good aliens, you have the evil aliens, you have the scientists who tell you, you better hope that aliens aren't here, because if they are, then we could be just livestock to them. There's all that, and all that obviously is fodder for stories. So
That's
which
what's been
one?
happening.
Yeah, which one is the real one? I mean, have angels and aliens interacted? Do aliens even have like their own spirituality different from ours? Those are all the kind
right,
of
right.
things that are explored through fiction. And they often say truth is stranger than fiction. So we might,
Right.
and I was just listening to one of a congressperson speaking about, why now? Why are we suddenly talking about this now? It could be that, it's they've decided, okay, that's enough. We're gonna show it. They're but and so often the things that they are showing kind of look like the things that we see in movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So with Jillian, with what they refer to as starseeds, right? Which many of the children that are born today are born as starseeds, where they have a higher level of an enlightenment, where they come
Yep.
in already with that.
Advanced.
Are starseeds aliens? Are these little children, little hybrid aliens walking amongst us, and we don't even know it?
Well, yes, I mean, they've been here this whole time. Just people haven't been talking about it. We've been a slave planet. I know how crazy that sounds. You
No,
don't got to tell me.
it doesn't sound crazy. We are slaves on a daily basis. Like, look at the way that humanity is living today. You think that you have all this freedom in the United States. What freedom do we have? We wake up, take your kids to school, go to work, for 8, 10 hours, to come home, to cook dinner, to go to sleep, and repeat and repeat and repeat, right? Eh, I don't know. That doesn't sound like a very fulfilling life.
No, life is supposed to be more than that, for
Yeah.
sure. You're supposed to embrace your life and
Isn't
live in gratitude. It's very important.
don't star seeds have a strong sense of not fitting in with the mainstream?
Oh God, I'm the black sheep everywhere I go.
And
I feel like I don't fit in. Am I a star seed?
I think, yeah, I haven't felt like I fit in a long time.
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
all
Maybe.
my friends, all my friends that know me said that I've been like this my whole life.
Mhm.
Now I don't know to what extent that I was into all this stuff, but this is very natural for me.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just grateful to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I
Right.
mean,
I mean, what I survived from, people die from,
Yeah.
and I survived 3 different things. That's incredible.
hmm.
I'll never forget. I was touched by an angelic light being. Like, who forgets that?
Right.
And it was beautiful. And this gift they gave me is just magical to me. And I'm just the vessel.
Do
So
you
what?
do
Go ahead,
you
Manny.
have you had any inklings of past life memories and things like that?
Oh
Oh,
yes.
oh, that's a good
Oh
one.
yeah. Yeah. The Akashic record. So part of my downloads or whatever, I was in like an old Victorian library, and there's all these different like books. That's how I know it's a library. But there's all these different. It was my lives from all my past lives.
Yeah, and I always
I mean,
wondered.
I remember some of my dreams. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I always wonder if anybody who had past lives, and with the statistical probability that there has to be life outside. I mean, you just do the numbers. It's
I
ridiculous
was a
not to think. But
one.
has anybody had a past life that they remember from another star system or from another planet? I I would be. I don't think I've ever heard anybody have that, but it would be interesting.
A lot of these star seeds are
I
being
haven't.
interviewed. Yeah, a lot of these star seeds children are being interviewed. I don't think I've heard of a story where it's from another galaxy per se, right? That they're talking about that they were at one point in their previous lives. But it's like little children where they're talking, they're 3, 4 years old, and they're talking about their mother when they lived in like the Renaissance times, and
I've seen that. Yeah.
they go really deep into detail. You're just like, okay, where's this kid getting all this information from? He's too young. He hasn't gone to school. He's not reading a
Right.
book yet. Like, this is information that he has stored, and he's still here, and he hasn't been programmed to forget all of that yet. So it does make you understand and believe that reincarnation is real. It does exist. We just forget who we were in previous lives.
Well, yeah, they do that intentionally. But I remember in a past life, I was a male, and I was not a nice person. I was some kind of like wizard or something, because I had the when I got the download and I got the Akashic access to my Akashic records. I remember like all these different like bottles and all different colors and snakes, and it was weird.
Oh wow. You were like what's that? Harry Potter. Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
I was kind of like that. Kind of like that. That's a good reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
about
that's cool though.
Yeah, what about the Gaia hypothesis?
the guy, so I was told that too when I had my wake. They were raising her. The Gaia is Earth.
Yeah.
I what I believe is dimensions. I believe in dimensions. I believe that the whole spelling thing is different. I did I am affirmation for 30 days after I came out of the hospital just to kind of retrain my brain and think outside the box.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I don't know if I'm answering the questions right or wrong, but
and process all the information that you're
yeah,
receiving. It's a lot
it's
to even process, right? Like, am I going, like you said, am I going batshit crazy at this point with everything that that's being projected to me? Am I imagining this? Am I, am I a schizo here? Right? Like, it's like, I know that I would be thinking that if I was being exposed to all this information, but I find it fascinating. I do, because so many people are getting more comfortable with talking about it more and more, which is very cool, I think,
well, the Starseeds is Lemurians, and Atlantis. So everyone's talking about Atlantis and
Yeah.
Lemurian. The Starseeds are Andromeda. I've been told I'm Andromedan. Pleiadian is how I say it, but they say Pleiadian.
Pleiadians, right? Pleiadians.
Billy Mays or something. I was doing some research a while back. He was contacted with them a long time ago. And I want to say in like Switzerland or something.
Do you feel that more and more people with all of with the mass awakening that's happening on the planet right now are becoming more telepathically sensitive to receiving information?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So how do we know? You mentioned about that you get kind of like a little ringing in your ear.
Yeah.
What are other signs and symptoms that, for example, I that have never been able to communicate with a higher entity before, can look for to welcome it?
You got to be open to receive, and you have to give them permission to enter your life.
So how do you do that?
Well, you got to clear your energy, and then you work with whoever you're working with, and you just talk to them.
Yeah.
I do it telepathically.
And do you think that
It's got to be a safe place when you do it.
Yeah.
do you think that there's a possibility that this awakening stuff is happening now because we're meddling with AI, and
Oh, yeah.
AI could potentially in 10, 15 years um, be an entity that we
Right.
created?
Right.
I personally try. I mean, we got an Alexa that I got as a gift, but I personally try to stay away from AI because have you not seen Terminator?
You
That's
know,
what I'm saying.
it's
That's what
it's
I'm
so
saying.
it's so funny, right? Because like now I use AI, right? Because I think it does facilitate your work and your day to day, right?
Yeah,
We have so much going on. I'll take all the help that I can get. But the more that I use it, it's scary because and it's funny you mentioned Terminator because I was like, this shit is Terminator right here. Like James Cameron was way ahead of the game. Which by the way, James Cameron, when he talks about Terminator and Avatar, he says that these were all channeled dreams that he was receiving about these like big blue alien entities in his
Arturian.
dream, where he wrote it down, just like you did, Jillian. He woke up in the morning and he started writing everything that he was dreaming about that. And then, he created this movie. And when that movie was being pitched, one of the stars that was approached for this was Matt Damon. It's so funny. And
Okay.
Matt Damon, was in the middle of what's that movie? The Born Identity, the Born.
Yeah. I know what
So
you're talking about.
he was in the middle of another film, so it was
Right,
conflicting with his schedule. But James Cameron did approach him, and he said, "Well, what? Because you need a movie star." And James Cameron was very clear. He's like, "I don't need a movie star. I just like
right,
working with you, and I like your work. And yeah, you're gonna help
right.
in the box office, but in the end." Avatar is the movie star. The movie is the movie star because it was so different and it was so ahead of the game. And that I am not into those Star Trek, Star Wars movies. Like Matt, Manny loves all those movies. I,
I am.
I can't get into those movies. It's hard for me to get into that. And when I saw that movie with my daughter, I was crying in the movie theater. I was crying. I was so into it. I was like, amazing how they projected these aliens and how I was able to connect with such a fake profile, right? On with that Hollywood was showing us
Because
on
the story is the story. It doesn't matter whether it's a cartoon or real people or
Mhm.
CGI. It's the story that moves you, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a battle for your soul. What's going on around the world right now between good and evil, and I've seen both sides.
Mm.
Do
Yeah.
you feel that, Jillian, do you feel that we have more good on the planet or more evil on the planet taking place
the
right now?
the bad is being exposed and leaving the planet. We're merging timelines right now.
There's a cleansing that's taking place on
Absolutely. Oh
planet Earth
yes.
right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, I do. I think so too. I think that the more the bad is being exposed, right, with the Epstein list and Diddy and all these horrible human beings and how
People
everything
don't
is just
want to
come to
talk
light.
about what's really happening because
Yeah,
they want to keep it hush hush, but it's happening. I mean, nobody can deny it. Disclosure is happening one way or another.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so Jillian, do you feel open to trying to channel a higher being right now with us live? It could
Yeah, let me
be an
here.
angel, it could be an alien, and just communicate who it is that you're connecting with. And maybe Manny, you and I can ask some questions and get some feedback and enlightenment from another realm, from another spiritual realm to see kind of, what I don't know today. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good with this. Maybe we can get
They just
maybe we
wanted
can
me
get some
to
answers for the future.
they wanted me to send this and then just do some energetic healing for the collective.
Okay.
This
All
is
right.
the this is the thing, but I gotta get my payload. 1 second, please.
Yeah, it's interesting when you speak, Manny, with people that have had these near-death experiences, like it's fascinating, right? Like they all come back and they're like, yeah, we saw the light, we saw, all these relatives on the other side where they tell you, not yet, it's not your time, you got to go back, your purpose has not been fulfilled yet.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't see that when that happened to me. I didn't see. Everyone talks about the tunnel. I didn't see a tunnel when all this
yeah,
happened.
everybody's and then I also think about that too, like we all talk about the tunnel and the light, right? Is this just because we've been told that there's a tunnel and a light that everybody repeats the same thing, or is it true,
Yeah. Okay.
So what are we doing, Jillian?
Right now, I'm just clearing the space.
But what is it that what are we going to do with you?
I'm doing angelic healing.
An angelic healing for
It's
our
cosmic. It
viewers.
has cosmic codes, and with the healing. So I use my crystals, the Lumerian crystal, and I call in Archangel Michael for protection, strength, and courage, and I put myself in that golden bubble of light. You want to take your palms like this to be open to receive. You
Manny,
want to concentrate.
Sorry?
you got to open and receive the energy.
Like this?
Concentrate.
Yes.
Concentrate on your breathe. No, like this. You take your palms and you put them on the side. Yep, that's how I channel. So you just be open to receive, and have your palms open. And they talk about people that have M's in their hands too. We're all connected that way.
That have what?
The M's.
M's? Oh, I have an
M?
M. Okay.
I
Do I
have
have an
M's in
M?
both hands. But what I'm doing right now is angelic healing. So what you want to do is just concentrate on your breathing and inhale and exhale out. And breathing is very important when you connect with Reiki. And you also have to be very um, selective with who you do energy work with, because I'm very selective with who I work with. Because it's an energy transfer. So just concentrate on your breathing, and I'm just doing angelic Reiki right now. And my hand lights up, puffs, like extends and gets kind of magical.
Her hand grows, Manny.
It froze?
Grows, gets bigger
It
with the
grows.
energy, with the
Oh,
energy.
And I'm just open to receive right now. Greetings, one love, love and light. I am Jafiel. I am unconditional love. That's all I got.
Amen. Thank you for that.
No problem. Blessings to everyone that's watching. It's imprinted.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that.
That was
Pretty
very.
excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to share with us? Why don't you tell us a little bit about the classes that you offer on a one-on-one in order to help others and how they can communicate with you, give your contact information, and I can share when I repost this your
Oh,
email again.
my business page is Infinite Blessings and Beyond on Facebook, and then all my platforms are Bright Eyes 111. EY easy.
Okay. And you
And
said
then
that this was on a
the
donation based, where they can contact you and then you guys can figure that out, but you can help them achieve higher enlightenment and
yeah,
how to connect.
right. The classes I do is match your archangel to your crystal. It's a 7 hour or 7 week class. It's an hour each week, and I only take one client on at a time when I do it because it's so time consuming. But
Okay.
it teaches you how to connect with your archangel and the crystals that are right for you.
Okay, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Well, again, Jillian and Manny, thank you so much for taking the time, to
Um,
speak with me today. Manny, thank you for your help with the questions. I know that I can always count on your support.
oh, I'm
Um,
eternally grateful. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, I want to explore into this topic more and more. I think it's really interesting. I'd love to meet more people that are open-minded to talking about this, right? Because this is kind of like a little bit of a taboo subject. Like people think you're a little nutty when you talk about this, but I believe that we all think it. We just are not comfortable with talking about it with
At least in the
others.
Western world.
That's
Well,
right. That's right.
you gotta let the ego go. I don't come from any ego.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
pissed off a lot of people when I came out and all this happened to me in the spiritual community because I just speak from my heart, and what I feel resonates with me is true from my personal experiences.
Right. Right. Well, again, thank you so much to everyone that's watched this show, that has joined in. Thank you so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. Please consider subscribing to our channel and hitting the notification bell so that you never miss an episode. I want to continue to invite amazing guests to keep the spiritual community growing and expanding. So thanks again. If you have any questions for us, please, write them in the comments section. I try to get back to everybody. And again, I am also very grateful for all of your support. And to my friends, Manny and Jillian, thank you again for, joining me on a Saturday afternoon.
I thank you for having me. This is awesome.
My pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Blessings to both of you.
Same to you guys. Okay, have a great one.
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
bye-bye.
Bye. How do I get out of here now?
And
She'll
Okay.
end it. Oh, she did
yeah.
it.
Okay, yeah. All
Okay,
right, I
you're still
stopped it.
live though. You're still live.